tabletop position. It doesn't have to be like this perfect tabletop. Just kind of allow your knees to be over your hips and just see where your feet want to flop. Ideally, tabletop or up, not down. And you're going to start with your arms all the way out to your T shape here. Great, and take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, pushing into the floor, melting your spine a little bit more down. Good, just kind of releasing the breath. Inhale, expanding those rib cages side to side and into the back of the mat, and then exhale, squeeze, recalibrate. Last time here. Excellent. From here, you're going to bring your palms all the way up. Take a deep breath. You're going to bring your right knee a little bit closer, and you're just going to stretch out this left leg. Just finding your nice little moment here. Can you pull your right knee a tiny bit closer? Can you feel how your inner hip stretches a bit? Take another inhale. Great. Exhale, just slowly release the legs, coming over to the other side. So still trying to keep the knees parallel to one another. There's not too much action happening, but still a lot of intention. Right leg is kind of shooting all the way out from that right hip socket. Left knee comes in a little bit more. Inhale. And then exhale, switch again. Good. Inhale, slowly pulling towards you. Exhale, switch. Good. One more time on each side. Great. Let's bring the knees back into your tabletop position, reaching the arms all the way up here. You're going to start with this right arm coming behind you, and simultaneously now we're going to stretch out that left leg. Take another inhale, and then come right back. Let's go straight away to the other side. So you're lengthening the left arm behind you, shoulder stays down, reaching that right leg out from the hip socket, and then exhale back. So you're just allowing the body to almost get like a full progressive active stretch. Noticing how the shift of the side of your body also shifts through the core. So maybe now when your left leg is out, you notice that that left oblique, excuse me, gets a little bit warmer. Reaching and then exhale back. Good, one more time on each side. Inhaling, stretch. Exhale, come back. And your last moment here. Excellent. I want you to put your hands on your knees. We're going to make some outwards directional circles. So knees going out and back in for 3. Still focusing on those hips staying grounded on the floor, so your spine is still elongated and we're not coming off the mat for 2. Great, last time 1. And then your last direction here, so for 5, just changing it up for 4. Inhaling and then let it go for 3. Inhale again, stretch out those arms as you circle the legs for 2. And then last time here for 1. Excellent. Let's put the soles of the feet back down on the floor. You're gonna bring your arms out to your T position. You're gonna slowly flap your knees towards the right, keeping the left shoulder down on the floor for me here, and pushing those hands into the mat. Great. I want you to lift that right knee a little bit higher. So it's almost like your right knee is a somewhat of a diagonal. You can feel a stretch through your left hip and almost your left glute. Engaging the core, you're gonna bring that knee in towards you at the diagonal, and then exhale, come on down. So your body's in a different direction and a different shape than usual. You're trying to keep that left knee at the diagonal that it's facing. And if it feels like it's changing shape a little bit, that's still okay. Noticing how your left side gets warm already to hold your body here. Good. 3 more. Inhale, 2. And then pushing into the hands a little bit more for 1. Great. Put that left foot down, flop the right knee back up. And then straight away over to the other side. So flopping the knees to the left, keeping both shoulders down on the floor, reaching that right knee a little bit higher up, engaging the core, and then we're bringing the knee in towards us. So what I mean is it's not like directly in the center of our body, and it's also not completely flopped over. So you're finding a direction somewhere or an angle somewhere in between. Great, and again, pushing those fingertips into the mat, pushing your palm of your hand, trying to see if you can open up your chest a tiny bit more here. Great, 3 more. Engaging as we come on in for 2. And last time for 1. Super. If you come back, let's bring both knees back in towards the center. Take a deep breath. Great. We're going to bring the arms all the way up. And you're going to roll over onto your right side. So you're going to keep your head nice and lengthened on your right arm. And this left arm is going to come all the way up. Okay, then you're going to bring your knees a tiny bit closer towards you. And you're stretching out this left leg in front of you. Great. You're going to open up this left shoulder, almost allowing for the chest to stretch a little bit. And then on the way back, I want you to swing the left leg back. And I actually want you to reach a little bit more with this left arm. If you feel like you can actually stretch a tiny bit more, you're allowed to do that in this position. Great. Inhaling here. And then exhale, bringing this left arm all the way back, swinging the left leg forward. So your left leg is just going front and back, and your left arm is kind of making a diagonal rainbow shape. And when you get here, you're holding for a second, and then if you feel like you can stretch out a little bit more, do it. It doesn't mean that the shoulder comes up. We still keep that space at the shoulder. Inhale again, and then exhale, slowly swing and reach. So we're using this swinging as a nice grounding feeling, knowing that our core holds us, and stabilizing here first. And then again, intentionally choosing to reach just a little bit longer, stretching out that left side. Great. Inhale again. And then exhale, come back. Inhale, hold. Exhale, reach. Inhale, reach a little bit more. Exhale, swing back. Great. One more full time. Inhaling here. And then exhale, reach. Perhaps a little bit longer this time. Inhaling, hold, and then exhale, engaging the core to come all the way back. Great. Coming back towards the center, taking a deep breath. Then you're going to push yourself up into this sideways position so that your right arm again is into this nice long diagonal and your left hand is here. Great. Lengthening up through that side, reaching this left arm all the way up. You're curling underneath for me here. And now on the way down, I want you to bend the right elbow and bring the body slightly down towards the floor. So you're pushing on up as you curl through underneath. Exhale, bend the right elbow as you reach. Now, if you feel like this elbow bend is not where you're at today, then just keep your arm nice and long and don't worry about the bend. Twisting through that right side, exhale, reach. Good, 3 more. And remember, we're still using the belly to lower the elbow, even if it feels like your arm is pretty active. 2. Last time. 1. Excellent. Staying here for a second, stretching out this left leg. And we're just going to make mini circles here for 5. You can always look down on the floor if you feel like your neck is anything other than happy. 3. Keep continually reaching, pushing away, opening up the chest a little bit more, engaging the belly for 2. Nice, long, happy circles here for 1. Great, reversing the circles 5 times for 5. 4. I'm just kind of noticing how each time you breathe, you can reach those arms a tiny bit longer. You can extend those legs completely away from the hip socket for 2. Last full breath for 1. Great, slowly coming all the way down, bending the elbows and then reaching the arms slowly if we can. I know sometimes with the mat it's hard. And then finding your way back down to the floor. Great, we're gonna come over onto the other side. So I will change my direction. And resting the head onto the left arm. You're bringing your right arm all the way up. And again, you can bring your knees a little bit closer towards you. And then you're gonna stretch out this right leg. So in this position, your hips are still stacked on top of each other. So you're opening up the arm on the right as you swing that leg forward. And then exhale, rainbow shaping your arm to the front first without shifting your weight, right? You're having that length first. And then you're gonna reach a little bit more to give your right side body a stretch. Great, so you're inhaling, coming back to your starting point, opening up the chest, swinging the leg forward. Exhale, engaging the core, staying parallel to the floor as you swing that arm forward with intention. Find your reach first, and then add that extra bit of space. Great, inhaling, opening. And exhale back. Actually, let's slow this breath down like we did on the last time. Inhale, hold and reach. And exhale, swing. Now the swing is still like an intentional swing, right? So you're inhale, holding. That feels better. It gives you another moment here. And then exhale, engage the core, come back. So what I mean is that we're still really holding in that space. It's not a swing of non-intention or not knowing where we're moving or how we're moving. It's still just that motion of going from front to back, engaging the core, reaching here, and then lengthening out a little bit more. Good, inhale. And then exhale, swing back. Okay, our last full time, inhaling here. And then exhale back. Great, coming back all the way to your starting point, shoulder stays down. And then you're pushing yourself up and finding that left arm nice and long away from you. You can always bring it a little bit closer if that feels more comfortable. Great. And then you're slowly bending, you're reaching this right arm all the way here. And you're coming underneath for that moment. And then as you come on down, you're bending the elbow and reaching. So again, if this feels like it's not where your left arm is at the moment, then just gently either keep it down this way or just keep it straight and forget about the move and the lower. And the concept of timing, right? Trying to time it so that the arm fully stretches as we curl underneath, and as we unfold, we reach that arm up. Great, we've got 3 more. And noticing how you can maintain that space of the left shoulder. You can maintain the spine elongated even if we're at this diagonal, right? So there's no curling in the spine, there's no arching of the back. Great, come all the way up here, stretch out that right leg. And let's make baby circles here. If you feel like you want to put your hand behind your head for a little bit more support, by all means go for it, but continually reaching, opening up a tiny bit more, keeping that nice long diagonal through the fingertips, feeling the length all the way out through the toes on the right side. Left side body gets lifted a little bit more. We've got 2. And then last full breath. And then reversing the circles here for me for 5. Opening up, seeing how you can create a bit more space through the spine and the vertebrae. Can you engage the core a tiny bit more as you reach up for 2? And then your last moment here for 1. Super slowly coming on back to the center, and then sliding yourself if you can. If not, just walk yourself down. I know my mat is a little different. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So we're gonna come straight away onto the belly actually. And let's find a moment of reach. So you want your toes planted in the floor. You can choose if you want them all the way out or a little bit closer. At this moment, I feel like a little bit out feels quite nice. And I want us to have this nice elongated spine where your fingertips at the moment are underneath your shoulders and your elbows are all the way back. So you'll notice there isn't much pressure in the hands. You're still not very lifted. You just have your head like a tiny bit off the mat. You're taking a nice inhale, and then you're gonna exhale slowly. Just help yourself push up a tiny bit. Okay, from here, you're gonna bring your hands all the way behind you, and you're gonna find this nice reach in this outward back position. I want you to imagine that you have something a little heavy in your hands. You're gonna slowly lift them up and then push them on down for 5, 4. So remember, throughout this position, we still have our belly pretty active. So yes, our spine gets long, yes, our spine gets strong, but we're still utilizing that whole inside power of the belly to hold here. 2 more. And then last time. Great, I want you to engage the core a little bit more as you lift the feet off the floor. And this time, as you lift up your arms, I want you to bend your feet almost like you're reaching for your feet, but you're actually not. And then exhale back. So your moves up are just a little bit, engaging, coming on down. Now the shoulders still melt down the spine. You're still trying to keep that openness through the chest, almost like you're bringing your shoulder blades back together. Great, 3 more. Reaching, inhaling up, coming on down for 2. Last time here for 1. Good, keep those feet off of the floor. You're gonna bring your palms down and you're gonna come back towards the front position for me here. And then exhale, swing, circle back. This time your palms are down, so your inhale circling to the front, looking down at the floor, exhale, engaging, lifting the belly, coming on back. Great, 3 more. Now it's almost how stable can you be through the rest of your body as you notice your arms just moving in those shoulder sockets. And remember, your range of motion is completely up to you, how big you want to make this or how small you want to make this. The idea here is to lift from the belly, keep the spine long, trying to lift up the head, neck, and shoulders a tiny bit more. Your last full one here. And then all the way back. Super, put the feet down on the floor. Let's bring our hands back underneath. And then I want you to slowly lift yourself up, shift your weight back and stretch. Good, just allowing your hips to melt left and right. Okie dokie, so reach your arms a tiny bit more. You're gonna curl through the center and finding your way into a nice supported plank for a moment, making sure that the shoulders are still underneath. Excuse me, the shoulders are above the wrists. You're gonna come down for me just a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Then you're gonna tuck your toes and you're gonna push your whole body back up. Good, bending the knees again. You're coming down just a little bit. 3, 2, 1. And then on the way up, you're gonna lift. Tucking the toes, bending the knees. Inhale down for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lift. 2 more. So remember, the idea here is not to go down super far. I want you to just find a position where you can hold and then we lift from there. And if you need to still separate the knees and the arms, that's totally okay. And then exhale, come up. Holding here for 5, opening up your chest for 4, creating a little bit more space for 3, looking down at the floor for 2. Happy moments here for 1. Great, knees come down, shift your weight all the way back. Okay, so let's come back into the center of our mat. We're gonna come into a position, so the arm is at a nice 90-degree angle in front of you and your right fingertips are making a T shape with your left fingertips and you're twisted just a little bit here. I want you to ground through those left toes and stretch out the right leg for me here and then just lift it up to your diagonal, whatever that is. Make sure that that's not happening, right? We're all the way open, you're slightly twisted, you're looking down for me. Okay, then you're gonna bend the leg and then bring the knee a little bit higher. You're gonna slowly bring your right foot towards your left heel and then lift it on up. So we're trying to keep this as a core exercise even if our legs are moving. You notice again how you're tapping, engaging, lifting, and that nothing else of you is moving. And noticing how each time you allow your hip socket to just open a tiny bit more. Engaging the core a tiny bit more as we reach, shoulder still stays down as we lift. Good. We've got 2 more like this. And last time. Good, so now we're gonna extend here and then you're gonna stretch the leg out, then bend and come on back. So same move, we're just adding another little layer of an extension and coming on back. Great, 6 more to go. And noticing where it might be feeling kind of active. Do you feel tension anywhere? Can you let that go? Can you lift your belly a little bit more? Can you notice where your right elbow is? It should be back towards your right hip. Stretching and lifting, trying not to lower that leg, but rather lift it up for 2 more. Last time here, holding, and then you're just gonna make mini pulses up for me for 8, 7. Keep lengthening all the way out. Belly's lifted for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super, coming all the way back towards the center. Take a deep breath, lifting on up. And then straight away going over to the other side where your right elbow is nice and bent at a 90-degree angle. Your left fingertips and your right fingertips make a T shape. You tuck through the through the right toes. Stretch out your left leg, lift it on up. And then remember, your upper body is slightly twisted towards the left, but you're still maintaining that nice long spine, looking on down. Okay, you're gonna bend the knee, and then bring that left knee a tiny bit further towards your left side. Inhale it down, exhale, lift. So there is a slight openness to that left hip. There is still a maintained right angle on your right arm.
we're doing our best to stay long here and not sit into that right hip, but rather maintain that full neutral feeling of being square to the floor. Great, 4 more. And continually using that breath to push yourself a little bit further away to create a little bit more space between your chest and your forearm. Great, last time here. Great, we add that nice little leg extension, so same move, stretch it on out, bend and come on back for 8. And seeing how your breath can best support you. So do you want this whole thing to be the inhale? And then that exhale just allows you to come back down. Do you feel like you need to exhale on the way up instead? So at this moment, I feel like playing around with your breath patterns to see, hey, what makes me feel more supported is the best thing you can do. As long as there's a long, expansive inhale and a long, expansive exhale, my breath mission is complete. Yes, of course, there are some moves that are way better with one breath or the other, but sometimes it's just about breathing, period. Good, your last time you're staying up here, stretch it out. We're gonna lift for 8, 7, keep pushing away from the floor for 6, 5, lengthening a little bit longer for 3, 2, and 1. Super, coming back to the center, taking a deep breath, coming back all the way into the middle, opening up your chest, tucking your toes for me, elbows stay back, and let's hover the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, slowly coming on back, untuck your toes, and then shift your weight and reach. Awesome. Let's slowly float all the way up, and we're gonna give our chest a little bit of a stretch. So we're gonna sit on our knees for a moment. You're gonna interlace your fingers and bring them behind you. I think we've done something like this before, but I feel like it's very helpful these days. So you're bringing your fingertips behind you and you're pushing down with your hands. Now when you're here, remember, I don't want us to lengthen the chest out. I want us to sit up really nice and tall. You're gonna inhale, slowly reach the arms behind you. And then from this position, I actually want you to hinge forward. So you're trying to find where can you hinge. You're not curling through the spine. You're allowing the belly to stay nice and lifted. And simultaneously, you're lifting your arms a little bit more. And when you feel like, yes, this is my position, then I want you to release the hands and keep them nice and long behind you. Great, you're slowly gonna inhale through the middle. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale through the middle, exhale back. Now, in this position, I want you to feel how much your belly is actually supporting you here to keep this longevity and the length of the spine, so that you notice that you're not curling, you're not holding yourself anywhere other than in the belly. And you can allow your fingertips or even your palms to change directions. So here it's just about feeling where you need to release. Even close your eyes for a second and be like, what does my body need to do at this given moment to feel strong and to know that I don't have to hold on to anything unnecessary. Even if I'm feeling it, I can still find a way to like let it go, right? To kind of observe our feelings, but not necessarily hold on to them too much. It's not that we're not validating them. It's just like, yes, we're feeling like this at this given moment, but it doesn't need to take up too much space internally in respects of like long-term, I'm gonna stay here forever. It's a temporary feeling and it will change. Good, 2 more. And your last time here. Great, let's relace those fingertips. Take another breath. Seeing if you can bring our arms up a tiny bit more. And now engage the core, keep the shoulders down as we find our way all the way back to your nice, tall, seated position. Great. Make some wiggles with the arms. And let's find our way all the way to the front of our mat. Cool. We're gonna bring this left foot underneath the right so you have like a nice, it's somewhat comfortable. Your left heel can be close to your left butt cheek if that feels more comfortable, or you can keep it open. Really, it's like whatever feels good for you at this moment. Good, we're sitting up nice and tall. We're grabbing underneath the right knee, Take a nice inhale, and then slowly hinge back for me, similar shape to what we just did. And now you're gonna stretch up this right leg. So you're gonna actually hold your leg for a moment. Shoulders are still nice and down. You're gonna tap the toe down and then slowly release for 5. Now, in this position, I still want you to notice, can I lean back a tiny bit more? So you still have that groundedness of the left foot, but how can I lengthen a tiny bit more? Good, 2 more. And you may even notice, hey, you know what? I can bring my foot a little bit further away from me. There's nothing wrong with adjusting in the move here. Cool, last time here. Excellent, so find your complete length. You're gonna release your hands for me here. And then you're circling that right arm all the way around, tapping, and then exhaling back. Great, inhaling, circle and tap. And exhale back. And if you notice at some point that you need to bend your leg a little bit, please bend your leg as well. It's totally okay. We're just trying to find our maximum length for this given moment, wherever we are. And then your last time here. Super slowly bend, put the right foot on the floor. Sit up a little bit taller for me, and then find your way nice and slow up to your tall seated position. Great, let's do that on the other side. So your left foot is grounded, your right foot comes underneath. Remember, you're finding like your starting point is pretty comfortably open. So you're not trying to stress your leg, you're not trying to stress your hip. You're just finding your stability through the middle. Great, you're putting your hands underneath your left knee, shoulders down, and then you're hinging back to a point where you're like, yeah, this is where I'm starting, and that's totally fine. And you float this left knee up and notice, hey, I might even be able to lean back a tiny bit more. So you're stretching up and then coming on back. And again, at each moment or each stretch up, you're like, can I adjust? Can I move my foot a little bit further away? Can I hinge back a tiny bit more? If your answer is yes, go for it. If your answer is no, then that's fine and just stay where you're at. And one side will always feel a little bit different than the other, and that's also completely normal. Stretching on up in your inhale, exhale back. Good, your last time here. Great, let's stretch up the legs, let's release the hands, take another breath. And then open up the chest a little bit more. Maybe you might even have to come up a tiny bit higher depending where you're at. And you're inhaling, opening that left side, exhale, coming on back for 5. So continually feeling, can I keep my hips forward facing as I open up my chest, engage the core and circle back for 4. Can I notice how my right arm still continues to lengthen out through that right shoulder socket as I twist back for 3. Can I find a little bit more openness through my chest as my side body keeps me strong for 2. And your last one here. Excellent, slowly put the foot on the floor. And now I want you to move upwards as slow as you can, almost noticing how each millimeter of movement is bringing you closer to your top, tall, seated position and how open you feel. Great. Putting both feet next to each other, about hip width apart. Take another inhale. You're gonna exhale, slowly lower down for me, bringing your knees into your tabletop. Hands come right away on top of each other behind your head. Great, you're gonna make a nice long inhale stretch, switching the legs. Exhale out. Great, so for now we're just supporting the neck, stretching long, gazing at the abdominals and how your breath flows through you. Inhaling, expand. Exhale, squeeze those ribs together. Great, last full breath. And exhale out. Great, let's start adding the arms. So you're gonna bring the arms to the side and then bring them back to your head. So your legs have this nice, slow but steady pace. And your arms are just taking their own pace. So tapping, coming on back. If you feel like you can time it like a dance, then great. So at the moment, I'm kind of doing 2 moves on the legs on the way down and 2 moves on the legs on the way up. If that's not where you're at, don't do it. Good. 2 more. And then your last time reaching here, and then all the way back. Good, knees come into your chest, take a nice little breath, bring those legs up. Slowly lower your legs down just to a little bit. Turn them out for me so that your knees are outward facing. And I want you to open the legs to the side and then bring your right leg in front. Open your legs to the side, bring your left leg in front. So you're opening to the side and switching which leg goes on top first. Noticing again that the back is completely melted on the floor. Reaching those legs open, squeezing together. Great, we've got 4 more. Inhale, open, exhale, squeeze for 3. Finding a bit more reach for 2, opening up those elbows a little bit wider. And your last full set here, inhale, open, exhale, squeeze, and then finding your way back to the middle. Great, knees come into the center slowly, put the soles of your feet back down to the floor. Let's release the hands and come down for me on 3, 2, and 1. Let's push into our hands, into our heels. Bring your heels a little bit closer to your bum, and then slowly lift up your bum, your lower back, your middle back, finding your way into a nice bridge position. Great, from here you're gonna bring this right arm all the way up and then your left. And I want you to turn your feet a tiny bit further out. So we're gonna bring the elbows into a goalpost position. And on the way back, we're gonna lower our bums down towards the floor. Knees are still staying slightly open like a V. Inhale, push, exhale, lower. So thinking about using different parts of your legs at this moment to lift and lower. Of course, having the belly still be at that center point of the main power source. And noticing how your chest can open, your elbows come out into that nice open position. And if you feel like you need to make it a little bit smaller, then by all means do it. Great. We've got 2 more. Last time here. Great, this time we're coming all the way up. You're gonna bring your toes forward facing, and you're slowly gonna bring your arms all the way out to a T shape. Great, so you're coming all the way up here and then pushing, cutting space. And noticing again how the difference or the slight difference between having your knees open versus not. Great, lifting as we lower, finding the entire body working together for 3 and 2. Last time here for 1. Great, from here I want you to slowly put your pinkies into the mat, reaching the left leg up and stretching it all the way for me. And slowly lowering down, finding your nice controlled movement. Exhale, push it back up. Now if you feel like you need the extra support of the hands on the floor, please do so. Noticing that we're still keeping our hips parallel to one another. We're not letting the left hip drop even if we have that lengthened out position in the left. Good, last 2. Last one here. Good, and I want you to put your palms down and make little pulses up. So instead of going down, we're focusing on up. Great, we've got 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super, slowly put the foot down. Let's melt the whole spine down on 3, 2, and 1. Great, hug your knees into your chest. And then slowly unfold your body, putting the soles of your feet back down on the floor. Great, bringing your palms next to you for the moment. Take another inhale, peeling yourself all the way off of the floor, reaching up. And again, opening up your feet just a little bit. This time the arms are gonna go up towards the ceiling. So you're gonna slowly come down with your bum a little bit, engage the core. And this time on the way up, I want you to lift your heels up too. So you're inhaling, heels comes down, bum lowers, exhale, engage the core, push on up, heels come up. So remember, it's a small lift. It doesn't necessarily mean that your whole heel has to come off the floor. If you can, let's try it. Pushing all the way up, noticing the lift coming from the middle, feeling how your bum is active, your glutes are active, your thighs are active. But maintaining that nice long spine. Good, 3 more. Keep breathing for 2. And then last time for 1. Super, heels come down, walk your feet a little bit closer. And here we go again. This time your arms are gonna come out to a V position. So I want you to bring your thumbs outward, backwards facing. So you're gonna come down, V position with your arms, and again on the way back, you're lifting up your heels for 5. So there's kind of like this feeling of lift from the center, squeeze at the top. Open up and squeeze. Now the squeeze is an internal squeeze, right? It's like you notice you're getting all of the air out. You notice that your ribs come back together.
You notice that you can use your hips to thrust yourself gently upwards. You can use that power to lift the heels up a tiny bit more. And your arms help in that process of just lifting. Great. Last time here. Excellent. Heels come back down. Your arms are going to stay here. You're lifting your right knee in towards you and you're stretching that right leg out. So you're slowly coming on down. And then as you come back up, I want you to bring your arms behind you. So remember, you're slowly lowering down with your hips. Arms come up. Exhale, reach behind. Now you're trying to keep the hips nice and grounded. Nice and centered and balanced so that the right hip now is just as high up as the left one is. 3 more. Inhale, reaching with those fingertips, keeping the shoulders down for 2. Last time here for 1. Good, putting your palms down and then just pulsing slowly up for 8. Remember, the focus is on the up for 5. 4, keep breathing nice and long. For 3, almost done for 2. Finding a little bit more groundedness through the foot for 1. Super, put the sole of your foot down, melting your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time on 3, 2, and 1. Super, knees come in towards your chest. Open up the knees and just slowly rock side to side. Alrighty, so soles of your feet are coming right back down. We're going to reach the arms all the way up for me here and then reach those arms up towards the tabletop, head, neck, and shoulders follow. Cool. One hand on top of each other. We have some crisscrossing to do. So we're going to float the right knee into a tabletop position. You're bringing your left armpit towards that right leg, and then you're stretching it out. Now you're bringing your right elbow towards the right hip and coming on back. So you're twisting to the right with the left armpit. Exhale, slowly unfolding. Keeping the leg lifted, you're bringing that right elbow towards the right hip and coming on back. Inhaling, twist. Exhale, stretch. And you're just noticing again what's happening when your body moves in different directions, trying to occupy different ideas of space. 4 more. So noticing again how that whole body works together to stabilize as you bring that right elbow towards the right hip for 3. Down for 2. No, that one was 2. We still need 1 more full one. All the way here and 1. Great, slowly bringing your knees in towards the center. Slowly releasing your hands, bringing your head, neck, and shoulders all the way down for me. And then you're floating your knees all the way towards the left. Actually, you know what? Let's bring the arms to a T. And I don't want you to bring the knees all the way down. Great, from here, you're slowly bringing the knees in towards you. And then stretching them out just to a point of holding. And then you're gonna open your knee and close it down. So when I say a point of holding, I want you to feel how this whole right side is pretty active to hold here for 5. Keep lifting for 4. Engaging the core, squeezing for 3. Inhale, up for 2. Last time for 1. Great, taking another deep breath. You're stretching out your legs and then bringing them back. So remember, we're still a little bit further away from us. We still notice how the whole right side body is pretty active. And you only have to stretch out as far as you're comfortable with, right? So even if that's just a small extension, do that. Great, we've got 2. Last time 1. Super, bring the knees back to the center, slowly come back to the center. Put the soles of your feet back down on the floor, palms come upward facing, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Take another inhale. And then exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come off the floor and we wait. Great, 1 hand on top of each other, adjusting your feet as you need. And we're going over to the left side. So you're inhaling, twisting towards the left, stretching out the leg. Keeping that left side grounded, you're bringing your left elbow towards your left hip and coming on back. It's almost like you're just doing like a windshield wiper move, right? So the only thing moving is that upper body at this point. We still want those shoulder blades nice and lifted off the floor. I just actually used my elbow, which is not what I want. That's just a little bit more. So remember, this is not what I need to happen. I want that like extra bit of twist. What happens with the elbow is that
I feel like it gives us a target, but it also limits us. Because I feel like when you use your elbow, when you're there, you're like, oh, I don't need to go anymore. When you twist with your armpit, you just create a little bit more space and know that you can actually twist a tiny bit more. Good, 4 more. And seeing how can you create a little bit more reach through the side. And 2, finding that length all the way through the toes, squeezing. And the last full one here. Excellent. Slowly put the soles of your feet down. Let's release your hands. And then lower down on 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands out to a T, engaging the core, bringing those knees back into the tabletop, and slowly floating your knees towards the right. Remember, we're at an active hold. Your left shoulder still stays down. And then you're reaching your toes at a point where you're actively holding. From here, you're lifting up your top knee only for 6. So remember, we're engaging that left side of the body now, holding this position for 4. Continually breathing, squeezing down for 3. Noticing where you're holding yourself from. Make sure that is from the belly for 2. And then your last time here for 1. Great, you're bringing your knees a tiny bit in closer towards you, and then you're stretching them all the way out. Now remember, your left hip is definitely behind your right hip. Your right hip is grounded on the floor. If this feels like it's too much, make it smaller, but I want that whole length happening from your left side body. Noticing how your shoulders can still stay grounded in the floor. Your neck is not holding on to tension as you use your belly to stretch out your legs. 2 more to go. Exhale that back. And your last full time. Super slowly coming back to the center. Take a deep breath. Let's bring the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Head, neck, and shoulders follow. One hand on top of each other behind your head. And you're going to twist to the right and then to the left. So we're just adding this nice little crisscross. So you're inhaling here and exhale out. Remember the feeling of head, neck, and shoulders are light and fluffy. They're supported. You're reaching. You feel how your body continues to move for 5 and 4. Elbows still stay wide for 3. Nice long feeling for 2. And here we go for 1. Great. Slowly put the soles of your feet back down on the floor. Walk them a little bit further away. I want you to dig your heels into the ground. Release your hands for a moment. And you're slowly going to lift up a tiny bit and then melt yourself all the way back down on 3, 2, 1. Flexing out through the heels. Inhale, arms come up, head, neck, and shoulders reach. We're trying to get the tops of our knees and then lower back down. Good. 3 more only. So it's almost like we're working that little bit of inner reach and then lower down. Great. Feeling where the arms can lengthen out a tiny bit more. Can you bring your head, neck, and shoulders up a tiny bit more? And then lower down. Great. Last time here. And lower down. Great. Take another inhale. Circle the arms around. Head, neck, and shoulders come up and we lift for a moment. Great. One hand on top of each other. We're going to float the right leg up and then the left and point those toes. Great. From here, you're going to reach all the way out and then come on back. So you're just alternating legs. It's not necessary which leg, or it's not important which leg starts first. Now what I want you to think about with the reach is still, where is my back? If you notice at any point that your lower back is coming off of the floor, please make this smaller. You can always just bend and kind of tap close to your body, right? The goal is to reach as far away as we can. But you see where you're at for today. We've got 2 more. Noticing, do you want to hold on any longer, or do you feel like you can release your hands? If you can release your hands, feel free to bring it back into the move with you. And your last time here. Good, let's keep the toes pointed as we lower down for 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center and bring your hands to the side. So inhale, lowering down for 3, 2, 1, and back. Remember, the tap doesn't actually have to happen. What does have to happen is that your upper body stays solid, your lower body stays solid, except for those knees slowly lowering down within the knee range of the hip socket and squeezing it back. 3 more. And noticing how powerful your breath is as you slowly inhale. Keep that slow speed, exhale back. Last time here. and all the way back. Super knees, sorry, hands underneath your knees, and slowly lift on up to your nice tall position. Great, soles of your feet come down on the floor. You're gonna bring your hands all the way behind you, opening up your chest again. And then from here, you know what, let's bring the hands a little bit closer. From here, we're gonna hinge back. Yeah, that's kind of where I wanna be right now. So I want you to open up all the way here. I want you to bring this right leg in and stretch up the right leg to a point where you're comfortably active with it. And then I want you to float the left one in as well. Super, so you're gonna inhale, bicycle this right leg all the way up. And then you're stretching up the left leg. So it's just kind of noticing where can we hold ourselves, right? We sort of lengthened that leg out already in a lowered position. And now we're just stretching it out in a slightly different shape. Inhaling here. Exhale, reach. Good, 3 more. Add that consistency of length, noticing that your hips are still continually supporting and you're reaching all the way out through the top of your head. Hello. Interesting how your ribs kind of work with you, right? Great, your last time here. Great, lowering that right leg for me here. We're gonna slowly flex. We're gonna open the right leg to the side and exhale, squeeze it back for 5. Remember, we're pushing away with the outside of the leg, coming on back for 4. 3, pushing a little bit further away with those elbows for 2. Last time here for 1. Great, stretching up this left leg, doing it again for 5. So it's almost like the left leg holds, the right leg opens for 4. Squeezing as we hold, keep that breath long for 3. Noticing that your belly is nice and warm for 2. Finding your last little bit of reach for 1. Foot comes down, take a deep breath. I want you to use your hands, push yourself all the way up. And at this position, I want you to lift your hips up and just open up your chest a little bit. So you have a slight arch in the back. Great, and then find your length back into your nice supported spine, and from there, lift up your hips. Good, holding here for a moment, and then slowly lowering down again. Let's try that again. So you're inhaling, lift up a little bit. I want you to arch your back so you feel your chest open, but you know you can't stay in that position for a nice, long, supported feeling. So you bring yourself back to your center, core aligns, spine aligns, lift up the hip. Good, take another inhale, and then exhale, slowly come down. Okay, last time, inhaling, lifting up just a little bit. Exhale, arch the back, open up the chest, and then recalibrate back to your centered, elongated spine. Lift up the hips for a moment, and then slowly find your way back down on 3, 2, and 1. Great, you're gonna float yourself back down onto your nice lifted position, and then bring both knees into your chest. Cool, this time you're stretching up your left leg. Remember, we're not sinking, we have this openness through the center, lowering down in your bicycle, and then stretching it out on the right. Great, so again, noticing how low can you come with that left leg without losing your form. If at any point you feel like, you know what, this is too much, or I'm not feeling this, you may absolutely always come down onto your back and just keep your head, neck, and shoulders lifted. 3 more. And trying to find that reach all the way out. And you'll notice there isn't really much weight in the hands, right? The whole feeling is still lifted from the center. The elbows are kind of like additional docking points, but not too much pressure in them. Great, your last time here, lowering down with that left, and exhale out. Great, keep the right leg in a tabletop, lower that left leg, give it a nice little flex, and then we push away with the left foot. Exhale, come back for 5. Engage the core for back for 4. Still noticing how your hip opens and comes back for 3, 2. Last time here for 1. Floating up that right leg, let's repeat that. So for 5, squeeze arm back. Belly stays open, squeeze back for 4. 3, noticing how you can resist out and squeeze back. And the same feeling of 2. Last time 1. Super, both knees come back to the center, take a deep breath, push yourself all the way back up. Open up the chest this time. I want you to lift up all the way here, bringing your neck back just a little bit if you can. And then exhale, slowly coming on back. Great, this time you're gonna lift on up, stretch up your left leg and hold. And then put your left leg down, slowly come on back. And then your right one, lifting on up, stretching up the right leg and holding. Great, slowly coming on back. Okay, one more time on each side. This time your left leg comes up, your right heel comes up, and you hold. Great. Slowly come back. And your last time here, left leg up, left heel up, and hold. Super. Slowly coming on back, both heels on the ground, finding your way back into your seated position, and sit up even taller than you started. Reaching your arms nice and long for me here. Good. Take another inhale. I want you to hinge back again, finding where your length is. Float your knees up to your tabletop position, and then find a little bit of stretch, holding here for 5, 4, seeing what you can do, 3, 2, and 1. Super. Bringing your knees in towards the center, and then allowing for that nice little reach back. So you're essentially allowing yourself to sit up, kind of say hello to your knees, and then I want you to engage and release. Good. 3 more. It's just about that small moment of, yep, I'm coming into my center, and now I get to release for 2. And your last bit here. Holding again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super. Feet come on the floor. I want you to open your knees and just fold forward, allowing your body to just melt for a second. Allowing those hips to open, the knees to drop. And seeing if you can just walk your fingertips a slight bit away from where you are at the moment. Taking another inhale. Exhale, folding forward, walking a little bit longer. Good. Take another inhale. And then slowly restack your spine on 3, 2, and 1. Great. You're going to bring your knees into your table. No. Both knees together, excuse me. You're going to reach this left arm all the way up and bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Put the right hand behind you, and I want you to sit up tall and just twist a little bit. So we still want to keep the knees together, trying to maybe even get up a little bit more length upwards, and then bring that right elbow back as you twist just a moment. Inhaling here, and then exhale, slowly come back. Great, so we're switching sides. So your right elbow goes to the outside of your left. So first you can kind of allow for a little bit of a curl, that's fine. You put your left fingertips here, and then see if you can stretch up a little bit more, maybe even sit up a little bit taller, and then twist. And then from this position, you're nice and twisted. See if you maybe need to walk your fingertips a little bit back on the left. Sit up a little bit taller, pushing into the knees as your knees push into your elbow. Take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale, slowly come back. Excellent. Feet come on the floor, shift your weight forward, hang nice and long. Opening up your feet a little bit more, feeling free to create a little bit more reach downwards. Good. Bending one knee and then the other. And here's where we say yes to everything that fits our vision of what we'd like our life to be. And we actively say no to everything else. And we take another inhale. And then exhale, slowly restack your spine on 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Let's do our little breaths and shakes, and we can call it a day.